Written by J.D. Salinger and published in 1951, The Catcher in the Rye has become one of the most enduring and debated works of American literature. On the surface, it tells the story of a restless teenager wandering through New York City after being expelled from school. But beneath the slang, sarcasm, and rambling narration lies something deeper, a meditation on loneliness, innocence, and the fragile hope of finding something genuine in a world that so often feels hollow. The novel's narrator, Holden Caulfield, is 17 years old. In the dead of winter, he abandons Pensy Prep, the latest in a string of schools that have expelled him. Holden is not unintelligent. His sharp observations prove the opposite. But he is disenchanted. He refuses to play the games of ambition, success, and conformity that seem to come so naturally to others. With only his coat, his cigarettes, and a restless stream of thoughts, he steps into New York City searching for something he cannot quite name. What makes Holden unforgettable is his voice, biting, cynical, often funny, and yet deeply wounded. He rails against phonies, teachers who spout hollow wisdom, classmates obsessed with appearances, strangers who rush through life without pausing to feel it. To him, nearly everyone seems fake, wrapped in masks of performance and pretense, and yet his anger is only a shield. Beneath the sarcasm lies a tender vulnerability, the desperate hope that somewhere in this crowded city, someone will be honest, someone will truly care. Holden is not just mocking the world, he is aching for connection within it. His wandering takes him through bars, hotels, the Museum of Natural History, and streets that never sleep. He reaches out to old friends, hires a prostitute only to end up talking with her, and drifts through crowds feeling more alienated with every step. The more he tries to connect, the more isolated he becomes. The city, for Holden, is not a place of discovery, but a mirror reflecting back his disillusionment. What he longs for instead is purity, the unspoiled truth he associates with childhood. This longing is crystallized in his famous dream of being the catcher in the rye. Holden imagines children running through a wide field of rye, dangerously close to the edge of a cliff. His role, he insists, would be to catch them before they fall. It is a vision of pure protection, an act of love against a world he finds unbearably false and cruel. Yet the irony is unmistakable. Holden himself is the one on the brink, teetering between innocence and adulthood, between hope and despair. The novel's most moving moment comes not through confrontation, but through quiet revelation. Watching his little sister Phoebe ride a carousel in the rain, Holden finally feels a kind of peace. In her laughter and joy, he realizes that he cannot stop children from growing up, nor shield them from every pain. They must reach for the brass ring themselves, even if they sometimes fall. What he can do is love them, cherish their innocence while it lasts, and allow himself to be present in those fleeting, beautiful moments. In that love, Holden discovers something real enough to endure. What makes The Catcher in the Rye endure, more than 70 years after its publication, is not only Holden's story, but the way Salinger tells it, with raw immediacy, unpolished honesty, and a refusal to offer tidy resolutions. It is not a book of neat morals, but of haunting questions. How do we grow up without losing what is most authentic in ourselves? How do we navigate a world that feels shallow without becoming shallow in return? And is it possible, even in the midst of disappointment, to find beauty that justifies the struggle? Generations of readers have found themselves in Holden Caulfield, not because they share his exact experiences, but because nearly everyone has felt the ache he voices, the loneliness between childhood and adulthood, the resistance to a world that seems false, the fragile hope that something pure still exists. What some dismiss as a teenage rant reveals itself, on closer reading, as something universal, the defiance of every restless heart and the hope that, even in all the phoniness, something real can still be found. Thank you for joining me on this journey through The Catcher in the Rye. If you enjoyed exploring Holden's world, stay with me as we continue wandering through the pages of the world's greatest novels, each one carrying its own truths, questions, and quiet wonders.